Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fifth webinar in our COVID-19 webinar series, which will focus on how to diversify your income streams and capitalize on digital opportunities during COVID-19. My name is Jetske, and I am part of the Mentoring Women in Business team here at the Cherie Blair Foundation. First of all, I would like to check whether everyone can hear me. And if you can, could you please leave a comment in the chat box so that I can see? I see a few introductions already, which is great. Thank you. Yes, I have seen one comment. Thank you, Nancy, Emily. Perfect. So if anything does happen with the tech during the webinar, for example, there's no sound or no image, then I advise you to first write this in the chat box to see if anyone is experiencing the same. If it is just you, then please exit the webinar and try to restart the meeting by using the link from the Zoom email confirmation. If that doesn't work, then know that we are also recording this session, and I will share the link to the recording in the next few days via our LinkedIn group. So you can always rewatch this session at any time that you want. I hope that you're all managing to stay safe and well during these challenging times. The mentoring team is making sure that the mentoring program can continue, especially now, and we're excited to be starting our next intake tomorrow. If you have any concerns about your mentoring relationship, you can always send an email to mentoring@CherieBlairFoundation.org. So let me now briefly introduce our speaker, Krisha. Krisha is an author, a motivational speaker, and career and life stylist, best known for her social media movement, Purpose Diaries. Krisha formed the Krisha Sarah Bowen career lifestyle brand, which houses a number of her other personal development ventures. She has built a global brand through social media and now runs a completely borderless business, teaching entrepreneurs how to create online courses, digital products, and services to rapidly grow their business income. I would like to thank Krisha in advance for sharing her expertise with our network. During her presentation, you can always ask questions or share any comments you may have. Krisha will answer the questions at the end of the webinar. You can write your question or comment in the chat box. If you want everyone to read your comment or question, then please make sure you select Send to all panelists and attendees, as I'm sure everyone will be very happy to hear from you. I will now hand over to Krisha to start the webinar.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you to the foundation. Thank you to Tayetsky for having me and for hosting this wonderful webinar series today. I think it's such a noble thing that Cherie Blair is doing, because we're all facing, many of us for the first time, living through a global pandemic. And we've all have the same challenges, but it's so great when as women we can come together as female entrepreneurs, share our insights, have a beautiful community, and just learn from one another. So I look forward to sharing with you all today a little bit about me. We would have talked a little bit about, let's talk about the webinar first. I'm skipping ahead of myself, right? So let's talk about today's webinar, what we will learn. I am in Trinidad and Tobago. It's now about 11 o'clock in Trinidad. I don't know what time you are looking at this webinar, wherever you are, but I'm grateful that you're here. And today we're going to talk about how you can use your current experience to diversify your income online. I particularly teach a system that helps people to take their current idea, create digital courses, programs, products, and services to diversify their income. So today, what are we going to learn? We're going to identify additional income streams that you can use from your knowledge, skills, and your abilities. You can use everything that you have right now to create an additional income stream for yourself and for your business. We're going to learn how to take your current idea and to diversify it. So if you have a business idea right now, or some of you may have brick and mortar businesses that you're wondering, how do I transition online, or how do I create income streams online for my business? That is also something we will be talking about today. We will learn how to research and analyze the industry and how to create programs, products, and services that ensure that you are profitable in this particular industry that you're in right now. So if you guys are ready, just type ready in the comments. I love to see your feedback. It lets me know that you are excited and ready to begin today. So a little bit about me. I am in Trinidad and Tobago. As I said, my passion is really HR. I've been in the HR profession for close to 7 years. I worked in corporate for 12 years. And then after working in corporate for 12 years and being at the head in HR, I realized that something was missing. The passion and my purpose were not aligned with what I was doing, and I didn't know who I was. So outside of my job title and my degrees, I was very dissatisfied at that point. And that led me on a journey when I started to ask myself, Krisha, outside of what you do, outside of your title in HR, outside of your job, who are you? And it was when I founded this movement, Purpose Diaries, which was really me going on a quest for understanding who I was. So I started journaling. I don't know how many of you journal. It's a practice that I do every single day. I started journaling my thoughts, journaling my experiences, journaling how I felt, and this ended up with me starting the global movement Purpose Diaries. My business is 100% online, 100% built through social media, and I call myself a career and lifestylist because I believe just as you would choose your hairstyle, just as you would choose your clothes, or maybe like me today, just how you would choose to wear purple lipstick, you can choose for your life, what are you missing? So if you're missing confidence, you can style your life with confidence. If you're missing motivation, inspiration, if you're missing something in your life, I realized that I had a choice. I had a choice that I can choose what do you want for your life, and I could style my life. So before that, pretty much my life was on autopilot: go to work to pay bills, to go to work to pay more bills, to go to work some more and to pay more bills. And I wanted something more. And that's when I tapped into my purpose, understanding who I was, and founded this mission, Purpose Diaries. And now help people to use their career and to style their life, to use exactly what you do every single day and create up to 8 streams of income for yourself that not only benefits you, but your family, your loved ones, and you can create generational wealth from it. So that's enough about me. I'm sure you're excited to dive into today's topic, a very important topic because we've all been shifted because of COVID-19 to now doing things different. We now have to change. There's now a lot of talk about the new normal, and there are now some businesses that now have to pivot because what you would have done before, it's now not practical in our current global setting. But I love the fact that the world now, because of technology, has no borders. The internet has now become the support system of the world, where everyone is tapping into the internet, looking for answers on social media, looking for answers through Google, looking for answers on YouTube, because the internet has now made the world smaller because it is now global. So you are not only limited to your country, your cities, your state, you now have an opportunity to share insights on a global scale. I am now in Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm sharing with many of you. I saw from Zambia, I saw Mumbai, I saw some of the countries represented today. And now this is what the internet allows us to do. So we're gonna identify what are your current income streams and how you can now create additional income streams from it. We are going to create a way for you to present your business online, because if you're not online, I'm going to help you get started today. I'm going to show you how to enter with an industry relevant topic and how to create a demand for your information online. And finally, at the end, if you have any questions, you can type them throughout our time today, and I will answer them at the end of our session. So you should never depend on a single source of income. You have to make investments to create a second source. This was said by Warren Buffett. And I actually say you need to have at least 8 streams of income. So if one is slow, the other 7 streams should be able to bring in some income for you, right? So let's talk about how do we go about creating additional streams of income. Each business idea begins with 2 streams: the actual business and the how-to of the business. So let's say you are in the business of making natural products. Let's say you make natural soap, shea butter products, and that is your business. You retail these products, and that is your actual business. So we're talking about each business having 2 streams. The actual business is you make products and you retail them. Now, the how to of your business is how do you actually make these products? So the first income stream that you have is the product itself. The second income stream you have is the how to of your business. Now, the third income stream that you can develop is how did I actually start this business? What is my process? What does this product do for my business? How did I get into the natural soap business? So we started with our idea, and we're now going to split our idea into two ways. Our idea is number one, first, the delivery of our product. So whatever is your core business, that is your core business idea. Now you can now split that business and create another stream, which is the how to of your business. So you can teach someone who is interested in going into the natural soap business how to make natural soaps, or how to start a natural soap business, soap making business. You would now have social proof because maybe you've been running your soap making business for some time. People have tried your products, and maybe you retail them in stores. Now that you're coming into the international market, you may or may not be able to ship internationally. But even if you can't ship internationally, you can actually use your ideas, you can use your process of how you go about making your soaps. You can use your process of how you started your soap making business. And this now gives you some additional ways to come online to teach people not only to sell your product, but how they can go about making their own products. You can now teach people how to have a natural treatment at home, because most of us are quarantined in our homes right now. And maybe if people can't get out to the stores, think about global supply chains and now shutting down, or many of them have drastically reduced their production. This now leaves an entry into the market for those who are in the natural soap making business. And this is just an example I'm giving you right now. But think in the context of your business. Now, how do I take my business idea and develop it first into a product, second into a service, and third into a process? The process now becomes your program or your digital online course that you are now able to sell. You now sell the process of how you started your business or how you grew your business, or you sell the process of how you do what you do. So let's talk about teaching what you know. This is the first income stream that we're going to tap into from our current business. So in teaching what we know, we use the SWOT model. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the SWOT model, which talks about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is normally used in a business context, but your life is a business. A business is any entity that exists in the exchange, the barter of goods and services, to buy low and to sell high to make a profit. Your life, your experiences, your knowledge is now an input of things that you can create an output from, that becomes a medium of exchange that you now make income from. So you have some knowledge that is inputted into you. We said a business is any entity that exists to exchange a goods, products, or service for income. So you buy low and you sell high. Your life is a sum total of your experiences, your knowledge, your skills, and your abilities that is now on the inside of you. You now have to package that into a format that you can sell it, so you will now be able to get income from these things that are on the inside of you. So we're going to look at our SWOT analysis. I challenge you guys to do a personal SWOT analysis, because this is the foundation of you diversifying your income online. So we spoke about on our first slide about looking at your business, doing the how-to of your business, and doing your actual business. Then we also spoke about teaching your process. Now let's look at our personal SWOT analysis. So when you look at your strengths, what are the things that you are great at? What are the things that people always say, listen, you are great at this? Or maybe a lot of your friends always come to you for advice on a particular thing. Maybe people love how your skin looks. They love how you do your hair. They love how you dress. There's something about you that becomes a strength that people begin to look at. So now when you list your strengths, you can now begin to teach what you know. Teach what you know in the area of your strength. You are now an expert of the things that you are great at, right? And because you're an expert of the things that you are great at, you can now teach from the area of your strength. So you can create a strength course, which is you teaching any of those topics that you are great at. You now package it in the form of a digital program, a product, or a service that people can now buy. So maybe you can create a resource sheet. You can create an ebook. You can create a process. How I started my online business with $0 and I was able to scale within 5 years. You can teach your process of how you started your business. And that's actually my story. I started my business with $0 and a cell phone, going live on social media 5 years ago. And I like to say I started the first Me Too movement because I started to talk about being dissatisfied with my career. When I started talking about being dissatisfied with my career and that I wanted fulfillment out of life, guess what a lot of people started doing? They started saying, me too, Krisha, me too, me too. And that is how I was able to start a movement just by sharing my life experience of being dissatisfied on my job and now searching for purpose, writing diaries of purpose. Before I knew it, I had over 100 people following me online, writing diaries of purpose, following my story. Before I knew it, I grew the movement on Facebook to over 900 people who were about pursuing their purpose and just writing diaries of purpose. So I used my area of strength and I began to share it. And then there were people who could identify with me, identify with my personality and my message. And I was now able to teach what I know in exchange and created an income stream. The second thing you can do is you want to look at your weaknesses. Now, people always say, oh, I'm not good at these things. You discard the weaknesses. I always say you delegate your weaknesses. You don't work on your weaknesses because they become strong weaknesses. If you don't like organization, you will never be passionate about it. But you may find a way, you may find a tool, you may find something that helps you to maximize that weakness by delegating it, maybe to your phone, setting alarms, delegating it to your planner, delegating it to something that now helps you to fortify that particular weakness. But you can actually create a weakness course. Did you know that you could teach something from your area of weakness? You just have to be able to now spin that weakness in a positive light. So let's say you don't like technology, but you've had success in your business by using a manual system. Teaching from your weakness would mean that I'm now teaching people who are not tech savvy or who don't like technology how to run a successful business without being tech savvy. I've now took my weakness of not being able to use technology, I've packaged it into the form of a course for somebody online who's going to say, me too, because somebody is going to resonate with the very thing that is your weakness. And you can teach them how you are now able to delegate your weakness and now still be able to get success in your life. So everything that you teach, you want to teach from a place of power because you want people to now learn your system that you are an expert of, your system that works for you that now helps you to fortify your weakness. There are many of us that share weaknesses, but if someone can spin that weakness into a positive and they can teach us, yes, you have this weakness. You may not be great at administration, but I can teach you 5 ways that you can manually start documenting your accounting system right now that helps you to earn more money in your business. Do you see how I was able to take a weakness? Maybe you're not good with numbers and you're not good with administration or organization. But let's say that was my weakness and I now say this is the system that I use and I can teach you my system for how I manually track my invoices online. You've now created a weakness course, which is not really your weakness because you spin it into a strength. Then let's look at opportunity courses. These are my favorites because I would say that today is kind of like an opportunity course because we're all facing the same challenge with COVID-19. You can now look at what's happening in the global market, in the global industry. We are all privy to news and what's happening in companies, what's happening in countries. Let's say you have a particular skill set that you are now able to look at this global crisis and you now can create an opportunity out of it. Let me give an example because I love giving examples. It makes it become even more real. So let's say you are looking at a company and they have had to release some of their employees because they're now not able to pay them because the business income has drastically reduced. This does not mean that the company still does not need the employees. It just means that they cannot afford to pay them at this given time. So you can now create an opportunity course because you can now pitch to this company and you can say, I can help you to create this system that now still allows you to have productivity in your business. So you can look at what companies are facing right now, look at your area of strength and mesh your strength with an opportunity and create an additional income stream for your business. I'm an HR professional and I have looked at companies now who now have to move into a digital space, and I have created opportunity courses that helps them to onboard their new employees online, teaching people how to work from home, because working from home is a skill. We're now all working from home, but how to get the most productivity out of your employees while they are working at home. I've looked at the industry, looked at the global crisis, looked at my strengths as an HR professional, and created my own opportunities within the current market to diversify my income. So look at what is happening in your countries, in your regions, in your states, and look at businesses, what they are going through. You have a strength that you can create an answer, you can create a response, you can create a solution. And the great thing about these solutions now is that you're not limited to who you know and who knows you. You have an entire world, and with the power of social media, Google, YouTube, and other search engines, you can now position yourself to make income out of opportunities that arise that match your area of strength. And then there are threat opportunities, threat courses. So there are threats right now to human life. COVID virus is a threat to human life. Maybe you are a healthcare professional and you can now create something that it is in response to the threat of loss of life. It is in response to the threat that we are all facing right now, trying to protect our immune system, protect our loved ones, even protect our mental sanity. So you can now look at the threat that is being posed and you can now create in response to a threat using what you know. So this is to teach what you know, to diversify your income and create additional streams of income online. Are you guys getting anything out of today? Give me some feedback in the comments that you are learning and you're getting some ideas. I hope the wheels are turning for you right now. So you're not creating a course, you are creating a business, and your business now becomes an experience. Because if I say creating an online course, some people may get intimidated by the term creating an online course. But you are just teaching what you know into 3, 5, or 7 steps. So 3 steps to do X online, 3 steps to do Y, 3 steps to start your own VA business, 3 steps to start your own homemaking business. So even though you're teaching what you know in the form of a course, you are creating a business opportunity for yourself, and it's an experience. Okay, my screen got stuck. Okay. Oh, we went too fast. Let's go back. Good. I'm glad that you guys are learning something. So now we're talking about teaching what you do. We spoke about teaching what you know. Now let's talk about teaching what you do. Multiple streams of income comes from a documented process. So you first want to document your idea, and your process becomes your program. So when you document, let's go back to the soap making example. When you document your process for soap making, your process now becomes a business that exists to exchange something for income. Your process now becomes a thing that you sell because there's a value on the process. somebody who now does not know how to do what you do, you are now teaching them to do what you do. By teaching them to do what you do and documenting your process, you've now created an additional income stream outside of what you do. So you may be doing a service type business. If you document your process in your service, you've now created an additional income stream for yourself by documenting your process. Your process now becomes a digital download, a resource sheet. It becomes maybe a webinar you can do online. It becomes an online workshop. Your process now becomes an ebook. Your process now becomes a course. So you are now able to take this one idea and to teach what you do, documenting your process and documenting your idea. The next thing you want to do is to wrap your story around the idea. Now, if you think about your spending habits and your buying habits, for most of us, we buy based on learned experience or based on our personal experience. So you probably buy the same detergent that your mom bought or your grandmom bought or your aunt bought, or somebody close to you may have recommended a particular product, and you don't even know why you go to the store and you buy this particular product, because you've been exposed and you've been socialized a particular way to have a certain appetite for a particular product. So we buy, and our spending habits are based on really what we've seen growing up. Now, the only time we tend to change those products is when we experience something different. So let's say you were used to buying one particular brand of toothpaste, but then there was one day that you sampled something different. When you sampled something different, there was a new experience that came out of this sample. And this new experience now made you a believer of this product, and you now shifted your buying habits because of your experience. This now becomes the story that you wrap your process around, because people buy from humans, not from superheroes. So you don't have to be a superhero or a celebrity to build a lucrative brand. You just have to have a human story that people can relate to and say, me too. Or you have to be able to cause people to experience something different that now makes them change their buying habits. So you begin telling the story, and people can relate to stories. When you begin telling the story of, I started in the natural soap business because I had dry skin. And because of my dry skin, all the over-the-counter products never worked for me. And because these products never worked for me, I decided to create my own products. As I started to create my own products, people were excited about them. And I got a couple of my friends to try them. When they tried them, they started seeing remarkable results. So you see how that story, I've weaved the story, and now I have pulled you into my story to where you're thinking, oh my goodness, I have dry skin. Maybe I should try her soap. Because if so many people are having results, and she had this problem and this is her results, I'm going to give her a try, and I'm going to try her, I'm going to try her products, and I'm going to try her business. So after you document your idea and you document your process becomes your program that you teach. To sell it, you now wrap a story around it. So you now talk about why you do what you do, your experience with what you do, and what makes you an expert of this thing that you are teaching what you do. The third thing that you do is that you package it. You package it in a way that you can sell it. So now we're using our consistent example for today, which is the soap making business. Does anybody sell soap on here by chance? Maybe you can take this idea and run with it. So we're using our example of the soap making business, and we've documented our process. That becomes an additional income stream. We wrap our story around it. I started selling natural soaps because I have dry skin, and I now use this because it's healthier for my skin. I now package it. So I now tell people, I share my story. They start saying me too. Or even if they don't say me too, I start giving out samples. Remember, I shared with you guys that people buy based on habits or based on experience. So when we give them the sample and they get the results, they now become believers of our product, and they become ambassadors versus fans. Because people tell people about their experiences. And they're going to say, I had this amazing experience with this product. I used to have dry skin and I started following this girl on social media online, or I found her on Google. I found a YouTube video that she did, and I tried these products, and these are my results. So we've now packaged the idea. Then we deliver the idea. So we deliver the idea, we put our content into bite-sized forms. We can use all social media. We can use Instagram. We can use YouTube. We can use LinkedIn. We can use all the social media forums that are available to us to now teach what we do. Now, I promise you guys, I'm going to teach you how to research and to analyze how do you actually enter a market. Because now you have this business idea. Yes, we're excited. We're ready to share with the world. How do I know that people will buy into this? Research. We research and we analyze the feedback that we get out of our research. So one of my favorite places to do research is on Amazon, believe it or not. Think about it. Amazon is a place where most people go to shop online. Amazon has created their own introduction into our language, because when we're going to buy a product, we say, let me check Amazon. Similarly, Google has done the same thing. They have introduced themselves into our language, and they now live in our minds as the brand for information. Because when you say, I'm going to search online, you don't say, I'm going to search online, you say, Google it. So they have now created these large brands that now live in our minds and have become a part of our language. So what better places to use for research than Amazon, than Google, than YouTube? Anytime I want to know how to fix this or how to do a DIY project, I go to YouTube, which means there are billions of people all around the world that I have access to from right in my house with my laptop, my tablet, and my phone. I just need to use my information. So the first thing that I do is I go to Amazon and I start searching for book titles. So let's say we're talking about handmade soaps. So I'm going to go to Amazon and type in handmade soaps. I'm going to see what type of books people are buying. I'm going to look at the reviews, and I'm going to look at the numbers to see how many people have bought this particular book or are interested in this particular topic. I'm going to look at the reviews that they have said about this particular look. And once people are buying, it means that there is interest in this topic. So I'm now going to create my own audience by using the research that Amazon, Google, and YouTube now gives to me. I'm going to go to Google and just type in handmade soap forums. I'm going to look for forums where people are discussing how to make handmade soaps. And then as I tap into that, I'm now going to use this research, analyze it, and now be able to create my product to fit into this industry because of my research. Are you following? Okay, so now let's talk about analyzing the information. So we're going to use Amazon, we're going to use Google, and we're going to use YouTube as the main sources. We're going to get all this information, look at the books people are buying, look at the forums they are hanging out on, look at the videos they are looking on YouTube. And then we're now going to look at this information and we're going to see, okay, there is a need in this industry. So it means that I can now position my product to be sold in this industry. Okay, I see you guys are following. So let's talk about social media selling. Every day we have access to people on social media. So you don't need to sell only to your family and friends or people that you know. You can start sharing your message on social media. This is exactly what I did 5 years ago, just telling a story of how I was frustrated in my job, and I created a business, a career, a brand, products and services just by telling my story, because people started saying, me too. So this is some research I had my friends at Semrush do for me. This is April 2020. I wanted to see, in terms of the people online, how many people are online and what they're actually doing online. So I looked at Facebook, I looked at Instagram, I looked at LinkedIn, I also looked at YouTube. I looked at the age demographic. So you want to look at where are your people hanging out? What age group do you want to serve? In terms of your business, are you serving predominantly male? Are you serving females? Are you serving age group 18 to 24, 25 to 34? What is your age group? And you start looking at where are these people hanging out? Because with social media, you don't want to be on the platform that you like and you enjoy. You want to be on the platform that serves your ideal customer. So how does your customer get information? Do they like reading? Are they bloggers? So maybe you may want to start a blog. Are they on LinkedIn? Is it a professional career development type product that you have? Then you need to be hanging out on LinkedIn because your market is there. Is it a younger crowd who can you are into art, photography, maybe poetry, and you can get people on Instagram to stop when they see your picture and now they want to read your caption? Or is it a movement that you want to start on Facebook where you can bring a bunch of people together in a group and you can now share insights on one common thing? So social media selling is just getting people to rally around your message by using your story to teach what you know and to teach what you do. So you now begin to have a presence on social media. You have to understand the purpose of your social media. All social media is not just for us to have a social media presence. Some social media is for visibility and some social media is for sales. So determine which platforms you want to be on. I say visibility can happen on all platforms. Like I personally have a LinkedIn presence, an Instagram presence, Facebook. I hang out most on Facebook and Instagram. I have a YouTube presence. So those are presence and visibility. Then I start looking at where are people asking me the most questions. Where are people interacting with my content and they are like, Krisha, wow, this is good. I like this example. And where are they now interacting the most with me? People who interact with me will most likely buy from me. So I now package my service and I use the internet, I use social media selling to now expose me to a world where everyone is now using, based on this grid, people are using some type of social media right now to get their information. The internet has become the support center of the world. So if you are not there, you are missing out on global clients who want to buy exactly what you have, because I guarantee to you, in our beautiful world, there's somebody that's saying me too to the story of your life and of your business. So our summary for today, I've enjoyed teaching you guys this and I can't wait to answer some questions. So as long as someone is in the industry is making money from an idea that is closely related to your idea, it means that there is money in the industry to be made. With the right packaging and the delivery, diversifying your income online, it actually expands your market. And it helps you to now make a global impact so that you can now have a borderless business. So it's about looking at your current idea and seeing how can I create in response to this particular thing by using what I know, using what I do, and teaching from my knowledge, my skills, and my abilities, packaging it through my story and presenting it in a way that people will give me money in exchange for what I know and for what I do. Now let's go to the questions if we have any.
Hi, Krisha. Thank you so
Hi.
much for all that. I think that's very inspiring. So I think we'll give people a bit more time to think about any questions, but we did get
Okay.
one from Anita. So let me just scroll back.
Okay.
So Anita says that she's an artist, but due to the current situation, her sales have taken a toll. And she has learned mudra therapy, I'm not sure what that is, for various ailments. And she would like to start teaching people through webinars. And she would like to know, how would you go about setting up these webinars?
Okay, great. I love that question. So with the webinar, you just simply need a platform to share that webinar. So you can use one like Zoom that we're using right now, but don't underestimate the power of even using simple Facebook Live. You may start doing Facebook Lives, sharing information about your practice, and you may want to pull people into a separate Facebook group where they can get more of your content. So you can go live in a Facebook group, and then you can have people pay either a subscription fee if they enjoy what you're teaching to be a part of your exclusive, let's say VIP membership. They can pay a monthly subscription fee, or maybe you're doing a one-off course that they just pay for, and you do either a Zoom virtual meeting, or there's so many other platforms that you can do video on, or you can bring them into a Facebook space where you can share your video. The main thing that you want to do is start telling your story. Even with your business of art, there are a lot of people that are quarantined right now and they are looking for things to do. So if you can show how to incorporate art in your day as maybe a meditation practice, how through art you can find a way to express yourself. You can use art now, and you can now share a story around art. You can share what each brush stroke means. You can share what color means. You can now share this with your audience, and you can now pull people in who probably would have never been interested in art, but because people want something to do and you start telling a story around art, you can teach what you do, which is how to paint for non-painters or amateur painters. You can teach a particular painting style for people who are already painters. You can teach virtually how to do a particular type of painting. You could even teach how to use painting as an additional income stream. You could teach how to use painting as a form of relaxation, how to have your kids do painting. So you see, once you look at that strength, you now begin to say, okay, what do I know and what do I do? And you begin to teach, okay, this is how I prepare to paint. I put all my equipment this way. This is why I do this. This is what this means. This is what it does to me. You now invite the internet into that space to see what you do. And then you can now invite them to pay you to be a part of maybe a membership or a one-time course, or to learn directly from you, either painting or either your other practice that you just started.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Krisha. Then Sheena asks, how do I access Instagram demographics?
So usually with a business account on Instagram, you get insights, and your insights would show you if you are reaching the correct audience. So if you have a personal account, you would not get insights. But if your account is a business account on Instagram, there are 3 dots to the top right hand that looks like a graph. Once you go into it, you will begin seeing who your content is reaching. If you're not reaching the right audience, it means that you either need to change your pictures or you need to change your captions. I tend to look at it very often to see if I am hitting the woman who I want to serve predominantly and the age group. So I look a lot at my insights to see who is viewing, the impressions, who are clicking. So it tells me if my content is reaching who I want to serve. Now, Instagram, you predominantly find the younger age groups on Instagram. So you have to know what demographic you want to serve, and are they hanging out on Instagram? What other brands are they looking at? So you want to be in a particular industry, let's say it's fashion. What fashion brands are they following on Instagram, and what does that fashion brand page look like? So you now want to transform your page, have it looking something similar, so you can now attract that audience, because you know that they like maybe pink, or they like pictures versus text. They like motivation versus pictures. So you begin creating for that demographic, and you would start attracting them to your feed.
Thanks, Krisha. And you said that is a special Instagram business account. How does one set an account up like that? Do you have to pay for that?
No, you don't have to pay for it. Actually, if you have a personal account, you can go into your settings and you can switch it to business. But some of you may want to separate your personal from your business. You can create a separate account, and Instagram will ask you when you're creating it, is this a personal or is it a business? Now, when you start up with a business account, you would not get the insights right away, because they may need to track people for about 30 days before they start giving you insights. But over time, Instagram will show you the graph of, are you reaching men or women? What age groups are you reaching? What times are people looking at your post the most? Because there's a time that each page, you may be posting at 9, but your viewers are looking at 12. So if you're posting at 9, you are missing out an audience because you should be posting at 12. So once you are on Instagram on a business page for about 30 days, they will begin showing you the insights of the best time to post, and who is watching your content, how many people are engaged, and that kind of thing.
Great, thank you so much. And then another question about the social media is from Cindy Liu. And she says that the graph on that particular slide gives the percentages of male versus female. But can you also see the actual number of people using various media? For example, how many users on Facebook versus Instagram?
No. What Semrush was able to do is to give me for that month of April 2020 just a percentage. I don't have the actual numbers of people using it, but just in terms of percentage and demographic, because I really wanted to see the age group and who is hanging out where, because I want to serve predominantly females of an age group of 25 to about 45. So I look at the graphs to see where are they hanging out, and then I have a stronger presence there versus the other media. But the actual numbers, no, I was not able to get actual numbers, and I'm not sure how you'd be able to get that online.
Thank you so much. And then we have a question from Maria del Carmen. She says, I've read that the new way for marketing is by sharing additional information, not only about your products or services, but something important for your audience. What do you think about that?
I do agree. I do agree, because you would find that people share common values. Like for me, I am a spiritual person. So even though I talk about business a lot, I also talk about my faith. And there are people who follow me that share the common values. So people enjoy, social media is like a menu for a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant and you look at the menu, you get to see what they offer, and you could see, do I want to follow? Do I want to add this person? And stories like Instagram stories or Facebook stories, I call it reality TV. So on reality TV, you can put things that disappear in 24 hours. So you can show people your life, your dog, the coffee that you like, because it disappears in 24 hours. So you get to show not only the business side, but you get to show the personal side. And people are drawn to and they are attached to the human side of a brand. So think about social media as your menu. You can do anything on social media. You can do fun things. I suggest you educate, inspire, sell. So I always use that rhythm of educate my audience, inspire my audience, and then offer a sale. So my page is not only, selling information, selling courses, selling products. I educate as well. Did you think about this? So I start a conversation with them. I inspire, because people need inspiration, and my following would have a similar core value base as I do. So I inspire as well, and then I sell. So I do agree with that. I share bits of my personal life on my stories. It disappears in 24 hours. It's not incriminating. I share the fun side of myself. You can also do that on your page. It depends on what you want your menu to look like. And then they get to see, okay, she knows her stuff and she's also a fun person. So use stories as reality TV, your own reality TV show, and use your pages as your menu. This is what I offer, and this is what you can get from me.
Thank you, Krisha. Then we have a question from Uzo, who says, I run a restaurant focusing on wellness. Which social media platform is suitable for this if my audience is people above 40 years old?
So I think maybe video content, this is just a suggestion. You would have to test a couple things, of course, and see if they work. But I feel like video content will be great in terms of your restaurant. You can teach how to make your favorite meals, And now that a lot of people are home and they're cooking for themselves, people need recipes, people are bored, you can maybe offer them to cook with you. So I think demonstration type content will work best for your brand. You can do these on LinkedIn, you can do them on Facebook, you can do them on YouTube. I feel YouTube may be best because you can do how to make X and you can actually demo yourself cooking it. You could probably also succeed on Facebook. Facebook is great in terms of videos. Instagram will give you shorter videos, like a 10-minute max on your feed, and you can do Instagram live now and you can save them. That's really a 24-hour run. Facebook, you have a greater chance because people will more likely share it. It's going to have a longer life on Facebook, and you can start building up a following of people who enjoy seeing you cook, people who can sign in to get your weekly recipes. You can tell them, okay, so when you go to the grocery store this week, buy these products because on Sunday, we're going to make this new dish. So you can now have them cooking along with you and you can do your videos. I would say YouTube is great because you're going to reach people who are searching how to make this, how to vegan recipes and stuff like that in terms of your restaurant. So I want to say video content is the best on any platform, and I also want to say maybe YouTube.
Thank you, Krisha. I see a question about whether there will be a recording of this webinar. And yes, I will share the recording in just a few days. So don't worry if you have to leave soon or I see someone's battery is about to die. Don't worry, it will be shared. Then we have a question, or actually the same question from two people about how to increase their sales online. So we have Amara, who is a fashion designer, and we have Princess Miriam, who is a social entrepreneur, and both would like to get some tips on how to increase their online sales.
Okay, so like I said, you want to diversify what you do in fashion as much as possible. So document your process and start selling that, because you may not be able to get the sales on actual fashion right now. You may or you may not, right? Because people aren't really attending functions. While some people are still shopping, the volume may be lower, but people still want to learn things. So you now want to teach, maybe you make lovely skirts, maybe you make a particular type of sleeve. There is something that you are great at or the strongest at in your business. You can now create a process for that and teach that to other designers, or maybe you can teach how to start a fashion business using how you started a fashion business. So you want to create other streams of income with your same business idea so that you can now diversify the income streams. So maybe you may want to do a live workshop that teaches them a particular thing that you do, and people now pay a fee for that workshop. So of course you would now have to start educating, inspiring, and then selling on social, start growing your following. You would have to start doing some free like videos to give people an experience or a sample. Remember we said people buy from experience, like they experience something new, they are wowed, so they buy, or they buy based on habits. So because you're coming into a new space, people need to try things out. So you may have a free sample video of some things that you do, or you can teach something. This now brings the interest to you, and then, people will be ready to buy from you when you start sharing that free information, pulling them into a space. Then you sell how to do what you do, how to start a business, how to create a particular product, how to design a particular wear. You just have to know, are you trying to teach people who are already designers, or are you trying to teach people who now want to learn fashion or whatever your business is to create an additional stream of income?
Thank you,
I hope that
Krisha.
answers your question.
Then I think we may have to go to our final question because we're almost running out of time. This is a question from Alexandria, and she asked, do you have any tips for juggling multiple business streams, and how do you prioritize when certain streams are busier than others?
Okay, So yes, what I do is I map out which stream I'm going to focus on in any given month. So I know which streams bring higher income, lower income, and I know when I have to do like a cash injection strategy. So a cash injection would mean maybe sales are low. So I know that I have a low ticket product that can sell more. So I would introduce that at any given time. So I personally plan out my year, then I plan out my months. So I know based on my streams which one makes which type of income. There are times that I test stuff out to see which one makes more money. So let's say I have a slow month in May, then I know for June I'm going to introduce a different stream, one that makes higher income. So I look at my year to answer a question. I look at my year, then I break it down into my months, into my quarter. I look at my overall financial goal and I focus on the ones that bring in more income. If I see that it's not doing well, then I introduce another one, which is it takes less time. So I have digital products online. So I can at any time have a flash sale for one of my digital products, sell it for $20 and easily get maybe 100 people to buy. And I can make a cash injection into my business because I have a product or digital download or something that I can sell. So I may be focusing on a live workshop and it probably didn't do as well. There are other streams and other things that I can use. So I can say, okay, this month I didn't do well. It means next month I need to sell more digital products, or I need to create an online webinar. I need to sell something that gives me a cash injection. So I plan out my year, my quarter, my months. For each month, I have an overall financial goal based on the revenue of my business. I know which idea makes what type of income. So I know I need to sell 2 of this to make this, 3 of this to make this, 4 of this to make this. So I focus on the one that gives me the income to reach my goal.
Thank you so much, Krisha, and thank you so much for sharing your expertise during this webinar. To our audience, if you have any more questions, then you can email them to mentoringintakes@CherieBlairFoundation.org, and hopefully Krisha will have some time to answer them. You can also post them in our LinkedIn group. And I hope that many of you are already a part of that. We have set up this LinkedIn group for all our current and previous mentors and mentees, and it's a place to ask questions, to participate in discussions, and to access materials. It is replacing our forum, but you will still be able to access our e-library. If you aren't part of the LinkedIn group yet, you can request access to it, and our new May 20 participants will be accepted once they've been matched, which is tomorrow. Several emails with the link to the group have been shared, but I will also post it in the chat box here. So let me write that now. So the LinkedIn link you can just follow. One moment, sorry, of course, the link is now not pasting as I want it to. So yes, you should now see the link to our group there, and you can then request access. So I hope to see many of you there. I will also post the recording of the webinar there, as well as on our online platform. So make sure that you check that out if you are interested in watching this webinar again. And I see that some people are nicely inspired, so it may be good to listen to Krisha's presentation again. We have one further webinar scheduled in our COVID-19 webinar series. This one will take place next week on Thursday, the 4th of June at 1 o'clock UK time. And we will run a webinar about managing risk to your business during COVID-19. The registration link has been shared in our LinkedIn group and was emailed out as well, I believe last week. So I hope to see many of you there. So again, thank you so much to Krisha for sharing her expertise with us today. And thank you to our audience for attending and for sharing your experiences, for sharing your comments, and for sharing your questions. It's always really lovely to have your engagement. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. And then we will see you soon.